I live on a ranch that was established in the late 1800s. It shares 10 miles of the border with Mexico. They built a pedestrian fence, and while they were building the fence, we had very little illegal traffic. Once the construction company went away and the sheriffs that were protecting their equipment went away, the amount of illegals going through the ranch is still the same. It hasn't changed at all. And I can drive that road because our ranch ordered it, and I'll drive that road any given day and maybe see one border patrol agent on the border.
Look, everybody knows I'm the fence guy. Build a double layer fence. It's got to be double layer because then there's a paved road in between it. There you can't use the ramp systems to get over both fences, so on and so forth. But you can vote anything in the world unless you man it that's not going to do any good. And you have to complete it. It cracks me up. They build the fence in these little 25-mile increments and then say the fence didn't work. Yeah, they're going around it. Build it along our southern border. They did it in San Diego when violent crime dropped by 54%, and the Border Patrol guys swear by it over there. They built it in El Paso. What's up, buddy? You want some pepperoni? All right, I'll keep it close. Good save. That's good save. That's a good shirt he's got on. What's up, Luke?
Hey, how you doing? I've noticed that every time it rains, the checkpoint is closed. Yeah.
Listen,
That's what you think.
That's not even
It's windy,
you know,
windy, rain.
man, like I said, look, we're actively trying to not solve the problem right now. We are. It's an embarrassment what we have. We're trying to not solve it. He's right. We have a lot of, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. We got a lot of work to do and everything. Order as much as anything else. But for 80 years, the left has grown government, grown the bureaucracy, increased taxes, spent us into oblivion. I said the left, not Democrats. The left has done this for 80 years. And it's going to take us 80 years to get it back. That's what we need.
What about ICE? ICE, they're not doing their job very well, and it has a lot to do with get rid of them.
I agree, ma'am, but that's why elections have consequences. All these bureaucratic heads that control your life that you didn't get to vote on, that live on your taxpayer dime, that's why elections matter. And that's why presidential elections, and especially senatorial elections, matter. Because they go through an approval process.
How do you stand on the national flood control?
Well, if I may borrow the words of Andy Goss, who I'm proud to have his support, Andy and Mari Goss here tonight, by the way. Gun control is hitting what you aim. That is gun control. We are a free nation because we are an armed nation. And that is the bottom line. And the Second Amendment makes all the other amendments possible, makes this country possible. When that Japanese admiral was asked in World War II whether he was going to invade America, he said, "You can't invade America. There'll be a rifle behind every blade of grass." And he's right, and it better stay that way. Okay.
Are you saying that we can't trust you because you're
I've heard this.
Can you please explain that?
Sure.
So that we understand.
Sure. Gloria asked me, the two primary opponents I have are blasted away. Now, this is what happens when you're up that much in the polls. It's called desperation. They've said that my family's construction business lives on stimulus dollars and lobbies the government for stimulus dollars. Sadly, that's a complete lie. I wish I could put that more delicately, but that's just a complete lie. We are a privately owned construction company. We've been against other private companies for public works, water and sewer line projects. The low bidder gets the project. We have one job up in Tucson that after we were under contract and the project was about to begin, the feds, because this is what the feds do, decided to buy the pipe for the project so they could claim, and I was in the meeting when they did it, that way they could claim every single job on the project was a job created by the federal stimulus project. The corruption, it would have made you scream. It would have made you scream. So now, now they say we lobby for stimulus funds and those kind of things. That is what you call desperation, and we're actually quite flattered by it. We celebrate when we see these things. So.
Are you slandering the slanders?
Look, we don't, but at the same time, we don't judge how other campaigns run their thing. They're gonna say what they're gonna say. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. People, we're still winning. So they can march on. There you go, ma'am.
I was absolutely flabbergasted when I read in the paper after they voted through SB 1070 that one of the comments for them not wanting it, or for the government not wanting it to go through, was the fact, and maybe it was on a TV show, I'm not sure, but anyway, one of the comments the police made is, well, we can call ICE in to verify. And they said, we don't want ICE called in because we selectively choose who we report. And I'm going, what? I couldn't believe what I was reading.
Yes, ma'am. All right. She talked about ICE selectively choosing who to
No,
deport.
not ICE, they didn't want ICE called in
Okay.
because.
She said, but one of the reasons the feds wouldn't want the SB 1070 enforced was because
Board of, they didn't, that, one of the replies was that the police could call, or sheriff, or whoever, law enforcement, could call ICE to verify if they were a citizen or not. And they said, we don't want ICE called because we selectively choose who we report.
the only reason they didn't want SB 1070 enforced is because the left wants open borders and amnesty in this country. That's all there is to it. That's the only reason. That's it. I mean, everything else, all these lawsuits they put up with this leftist judge holding it up, and all these other things and these excuses they give, it's all just baloney. We're not stupid. We know exactly what it is. They want open borders. They want amnesty to help protect their seats in Congress so they can continue to pillage the American public. That's what they want. So,
In lots of votes of the illegals.
yes, ma'am. And
I know I've been getting a lot of emails about the immigration law between 1070 and California's. California's immigration laws are much harsher than what 1070 will ever be. Why don't they yell at California for a while?
because it had nothing to do with 1070 itself. It had nothing to do with the law itself. It had everything to do with it being a symbolic victory. The state stood up. They stood up to a government that is weak and pathetic, and they stood up, and we got a backbone in this state. And God bless our legislature and that governor for passing that law, by the way. And our fearless Congresswoman Gabrielle Gifford said she would not have voted for it, by the way, but she's tough on the border.
You mentioned something earlier about something to do with the
Put her down there.
I've already told you that I'm kind of like a constitutional.
Yes.
Hopefully, if there is a bill coming through if you get elected, or when you get elected, about changing changing the Constitution, you're going to weigh heavily on that, right? You're not going to do that just with a no.
He asked about changing the Constitution and whether you would think hard about that or just do it willy-nilly, as you put it. No, it's the greatest, save the Bible in my mind, it is the greatest document that man's pen ever created on this earth. It is fantastic. It should not be amended easily. That's why the founders made it so difficult to amend the Constitution, and we shouldn't go about it easily either. And bear in mind, all these amendments that we want, and some are great and some are bad, and the random email forward will drop in your inbox, and someone will say, if we just put this amendment out there and it passes, all the problems will be solved. It's completely not true. The Constitution we had was fine. It remains fine. It is the people we send there to uphold it and defend it. That's what sticks.
Can I make a statement?
Yes, sir.
In the last 3 months, my wife and I have gone across country both ways. We've done an Alaskan cruise, we were in the West Coast, we were on the East Coast, and every time somebody sees our license plate, they say, Arizona, way to go. So I have not heard anybody, any place across the whole United States say anything bad about Arizona's SD.
Separate ties. Sir?
Term limits, okay, for Congress and or the Senate